All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Is courtroom 2 on the line? They are. All right, this is the state expedited accusations calendar. At this calendar, we will set bonds for misdemeanor offenses that have been formally accused by the Solicitor General in the State Court of Fulton County, Georgia. I'm Judge Melanie Williams, and today is August the 16th of 2023. All defendants, you have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney today. Participants, this particular proceeding is being broadcast over the internet as a live stream. It's also being recorded. That means any member of the public can log on and watch. Have all members of the Public Defender's Office or defense attorneys had the opportunity to interview their clients?
Your Honor, there are a few that we have not been able to interview. I believe that they are going to be medical reset again. I have to confirm that with the jail.
Okay, all right.
One client, and I have already spoken to him. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Ms. Bridgewater, what is my reset date? You're muted.
I am so sorry. Good afternoon, everybody. The reset date for the SAP calendar is August the 29th.
All right. Those who receive a surety or cash bond today will be reset to state all purpose on August the 29th. Those who receive a signature bond, whether through the jail or pretrial, will be reset further notice. All right. Who do we have first at courtroom 2? Can courtroom 2 hear me? Oh, there are more defendants. I'm going to repeat your rights. Are all defendants in courtroom 2? All right, all defendants, you have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney at this proceeding. When I ask if you understand your rights, those are the rights to which I am referring. I'm going to make you aware that this proceeding is being broadcast over the internet as a live stream. It's being recorded as well. That means any member of the public can watch this proceeding. All right, are we ready to take a position at courtroom 2?
Yes, Your Honor, position number 8, Mr. Harvey.
All right, thank you. Mr. Harvey, your case is 23 CR 005000A. You're charged with battery, family violence. You understand your rights?
Yes, what did you say the charges were?
The charge is battery, family violence.
But I was, okay.
Okay, no. Do you understand your rights today? Is this Ms. Kim's case?
No, Your Honor, it is my case.
Okay. Ms. Kim, where are the interpreter cases?
There are 2 interpreter cases.
No, are they at courtroom 2?
Oh.
All right, at courtroom 2, are the people who need interpretation still at courtroom 2? Are they going to be taken somewhere else because the interpreter is on the line?
The interpreter, the case is in. Yeah, they have to wait a little bit. It's me here.
It's going to be in here. The public defender's office needs to interview those people, so we need to take them somewhere else so we can put them in a breakout with the interpreter.
Your Honor, I've actually interviewed mine and I speak Spanish.
Okay. Well, Ms. Kim needs to conduct her interview.
All right.
As soon as we can do that, please, if that party could be taken somewhere else so that Ms. Kim can interview them while we do the rest of the calendar.
Can we have hold on for that? We'll let you know via chat when that's available. So we're waiting for a courtroom to be cleared out right now.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Harvey, you understand your rights? I'm assuming he's saying yes. Is that a yes? Not yes? All right, Mr. Howard, can I have the history?
Third arrest. 2021 cruise in the third and battery DB. 2019 trespass Molo.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Hudak, is this your case?
It is, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right,
Your Honor, this case did occur on 8/15 of 2023. Officers responded to 955 DeSoto Street in Northwest Atlanta. They spoke first to the defendant, who said he had been in a physical altercation with his wife, Jessica Harvey. According to him, they were having a disagreement about one of her friends coming over. He then said the argument shifted to the bedroom, where she tried to leave with vital documents, which he described himself to be the keeper of. He refused to give her the documents and pushed her out of the bedroom. Officers did notice a scratch on the side of his face. When they spoke to Jessica, the victim in this case, she said that she wanted to add court papers to the vital documents, and he refused to allow her. He then became upset. He pushed her out of the bedroom, and that started a physical fight between the two. Neighbors heard the fighting and called 911. Officers did observe cuts to her hands and her right elbow. Your Honor, I was able to speak to the Douglas County Solicitor General's office for the cruelty to children and the battery that occurred there in 2021. Miss Jessica Harvey is the same victim in that case. And Mr. Harvey was in pretrial diversion for that case. But they have indicated to me that they will be taking him out of that program because of this incident. Your Honor, the state is asking for a $3,000 cash bond, $3,000 cash bond, no further contact with Jessica Harvey, stay away from the 955 DeSoto Street address, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. And I believe Ms. Harvey is on the call if you would sound for her. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Harvey, if you're present and wish to make a statement, this is your opportunity. I'll need you to turn on your camera and raise your right hand so that I can place you under oath. However, statements are not required.
I'm willing to make a statement.
All right, raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge and under the penalty of perjury?
Yes.
All right. I'm not sentencing the defendant today. So what I'm most concerned with is if you have any fear regarding interacting with the defendant, and if you wish to have contact in light of those instructions, what would you like to tell me?
The only thing I would like to say is I am not in fear of Mr. Harvey. I would like to have no contact, preferably in the violent form. Like, I don't need any more violent physical contact. We have arrangements for him to go home and no longer reside at this address. So, I don't know, I guess that's pretty much it.
Okay. I appreciate you coming to court and making that statement. All right. Thank you. All right, Ms. Wright, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Harvey is an Army vet. He was honorably discharged. He let me know that he and Mrs. Harvey were in an argument. She began attacking him. That's where the scratch on his face comes from. He tried to push her off of him and try to get away from the situation. He does not want to go back to the residence. He's comfortable with a no contact order. Your Honor, we ask that this be a $1,500 surety bond.
All right. At this time, defendant will receive a $6,000 surety bond. He's to have no contact at this time with the alleged victim and stay away from that incident location. He can return one time with a member of law enforcement to get any items. Additionally, he's to have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons as a condition. Again, this bond amount and the conditions can be revisited at state all purpose on the 29th. Is there anything further from the state or the defense?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Harvey. What do we have next?
Position number 10, Ms. Hernandez.
All right. Is this one of the interpretation cases or no?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes,
All
Your
right.
Honor.
All right, and
Apologize, position number 16.
if we can take, oh, I'm sorry, number 10 is Miss Kim's, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, and you have not interviewed her. Okay.
They're going into the room now.
Okay, thank you. All right, position 16. Ma'am, can you please pronounce your last name for me?
Saint Gelay.
Miss St. Gelay, your case is 23 CR 005004C. In this case, you're charged with battery, family violence, and cruelty to children in the 3rd degree with the offense date of June the 19th. Do you understand your rights?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Howard.
The fourth arrest, last was 2022, simple battery, family violence. That appears to be open. 2020 reckless conduct conviction, 2020 public disorderly conduct conviction.
All right, thank you. All right, whose case is this for the state?
I'm sorry, may you repeat the case number? My internet just went out. I'm on my cell phone.
Position 16.
16.
Is that yours, Ms. Bickerstaff?
Yes, that is mine, Your Honor. I'm sorry. For 1 second. St. Clair Place. Yes, Your Honor. So, okay, this incident occurred June 19th of this year at 670 Eleanor Place, Unit A. And this is where officers spoke with Mr. Owen St. Glaciers, I believe that's how it's pronounced, who stated that he was at home with his 2 sons and his wife came to the house. Mr. Owen told officers that she was not supposed to be at the residence because she had previously assaulted him and she was currently living somewhere else. And so the defendant let officers know that, Mr. Owen let officers know that the defendant wanted to take their sons, but she was intoxicated. So she grabbed one of the sons, initial HS, and took him outside with her. Mr. Owens then told officers that he follows her because she was intoxicated. And then the defendant struck him and grabbed his arm, and she was trying to get him to stop recording the incident as it was happening. Officers noted that Mr. Owen had a bruise on his arm from being grabbed. And Mr. Owen also told officers that he put the defendant in a headlock to get her to let go of their son, HS, who was present during this altercation. So for all of these reasons, the state's recommendation is a $4,000 surety bond. We're asking for $3,000 for the battery charge, $1,000 for the cruelty to children, 1-day anger awareness course. We're asking for an ADET, no further contact with Mr. Owen, and to stay away from 670 Eleanor Place, Unit A, as well as no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. We're also asking for a third-party escort for the children, Your Honor. And I don't believe that Mr. Owen is on Zoom, but if he is, I would like to sound for him.
All right, I'm sounding for Mr. St. Gelay at this time. If you're present and wish to make a statement. All right, hearing none, Ms. Kim.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 34 years old. She was born and raised here in Georgia. Your Honor, she has been working at the restaurant industry as a server. She graduated from high school successfully. However, even though she's working here and there, she has not been able to work lately. So because of that, she's qualified for a public defender services, Your Honor. My client is getting help from Hot Housing to have a separate housing from Mr. Owen's place. And they are actually divorced at this point. So we have no objection to no further contact and stay away from the incident location and third-party transfer. There's no need for a one-time law enforcement officer either, Your Honor. We ask for the signature on bond, and yet if Your Honor is not inclined to give her signature on bond because of the past histories, we would like to request for a maximum $1,000 good bond. She has no one to help her to bail out. Her ex-husband was the only friend that she had. She is from foster care, so she does not have strong support system to help her out to be bailed out. So we ask for signature on bond strongly. Besides, she has a pet in the house that is kind of left behind and no one is taking care of that. Thank you.
All right, defendant will receive a $2,000 surety bond, 1,500 count 1, 500 count 2. She's to have no contact with Mr. St. Gelais, and they can arrange transport of the children with a third party. Additionally, she's to stay away from that address on Eleanor Street, I believe. She also must have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons as a condition of this surety bond, and she'll be reset to state all purpose on the 29th. Is there anything further?
Nothing further from defense, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to you, ma'am. Who do we have next?
Position number 17, Ms. Terry.
All right, Ms. Terry, your case is 23 CR 004984Y. In this case, you're charged with simple assault, family violence, with the offense date of August the 13th. Do you understand your rights? You understand your rights?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Mr. Howard?
I'm sorry, before you go on, Judge, sorry to interrupt you. I just put Ms. Kim in the breakout room. Hopefully this is not her case.
Oh, I didn't realize she in interpretation. Is this Ms. Kim's case?
Your Honor, I believe so.
Okay, can we go to another position, please?
Position number 1, Mr. Cole.
All right. And making sure that that is not Ms. Kim's as well?
Your Honor, this is Mike Murphy here. I've been retained to represent Mr. Cole.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Cole, your case is 23 CR 004994E. In this case, you're charged with battery family violence with the offense date of August the 6th. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right. Mr. Howard?
I got second arrest. Last arrest was in March. Terrorist threats.
Okay. All right, thank you. Is this your case, Ms. Bickerstaff?
Yes, Your Honor.
Please proceed.
This incident occurred August 6th of this year at 1135 Holcomb's Pond Court. And this is where Miss Kayla Barrett advised that her child's father, the defendant, has been recently abusing drugs and acting irate towards her since earlier this month. Miss Barrett stated that the defendant grabbed her arms and threw her on the couch, and officers observed a scratch on her arm from the altercation. Ms. Barrett also told officers that she believes that the defendant is insecure about previous relationship issues that they've had. So for given these reasons, the state's recommendation is a $3,000 surety bond. We're asking for an ADET, 1-day anger awareness course, no further contact with Ms. Barrett, as well as to stay away from the incident location, 1135 Holcomb's Pond Court, as well as no alcohol, drugs, or weapons other than prescribed. I don't believe Ms. Barrett is on Zoom, but I would still like to sound for her.
She's here, I see her. What is the address again?
1135 Holcomb, and that's HOLCOMBS Pond Court.
Okay. Is it Barrett or Barrett? Miss Barrett? Or is it Barrett? If you want to make a statement, we do need you to unmute and raise your right hand. You're not required to make a statement, however. All right, you're still muted. We can't hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's Barrett, and yes, I would like to make a statement.
All right. Ms. Barrett, do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best? Raise your right hand. Thank you. will be the truth to the best of your knowledge under the penalty of perjury?
Yes.
Okay, and as you've heard me explain, I'm not imposing any sentences today. So what I'm most concerned with is your desire for contact and any fear you may have, but I will hear a brief statement from you. What would you like to tell the court at this time?
Yes. I do not fear. He is not violent. I think that it was a situation that was completely taken out of context, and the scratch on my arm, it was caused by me holding my phone. It was not caused by Ethan. And I didn't even want to press charges, and I was told that the state was pressing charges.
Okay.
He is already taking a family violence class. Yesterday, before he went to work, which is where he was arrested, he went to actually get help for substance abuse. So he's not using. But we do have a child together, and also that residence address, that is his address. And I just recently started living with him. So if anything, I still want the contact with him and everything as well.
All right. All right. Thank you. I appreciate you making that statement. Mr. Murphy, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Cole is 31 years old. He is living at 1135 Holcomb Pond Court, the incident address. It's my understanding that he was living there alone. So this news that Ms. Barrett is now living with him is news to me. So I do not believe the stay away is necessary in this case. It's my understanding that I do share a 5-year-old child together. I also represent him on his pending case in Gwinnett County. And me and the prosecutor, Gerald Henderson, are working towards a diversion agreement, which I understand that they will be offering as long as he completes his family violence intervention program. He's began that program in April 20th of this year through an organization called a Georgia Life Center. I'm unsure how many classes he has left, Your Honor, but I know he has been consistently completing those classes. He's not a danger to fleeing the jurisdiction, Your Honor. He lives and works locally. He works as a real estate agent and has his own business called Cole Home Partners. He does no family out of state as far as I'm aware. He has no prior convictions whatsoever, Your Honor. This case and the last one I think are domestic related, so he does not present a danger to the community. He has, and again, Your Honor, he has no prior felonies. The victim herself has also indicated that she's not feeling
Is she the victim of that Gwinnett County case? No? Yes,
Yes, Your Honor.
she is. Okay.
And she's also expressed to the DA in that case her willingness to have contact with Mr. Cole as well. And she's also in agreement with that diversion outcome that we're working towards. So I'd ask the court to set a bond of $3,000 in this case. I do not believe the stay away is necessary, Your Honor, given the circumstances.
All right, thank you. At this time, defendant will receive a $3,000 surety bond. I am going to order no contact at this time, but however, that can be revisited at a later date. Additionally, they can coordinate transfer of the child through a third party based upon the information that he lives there alone. I won't order him to stay away from his own house so long as the victim does not reside there. Additionally, he's to have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons as a condition. Is there anything further?
No, Your Honor. I just want a clarification on the next court date. Is if he makes his bond, does he still need to appear for court on the 29th?
He does not, but his case will be called that day. So if you would like to come and address any aspects of the case, it will. His case will be on the calendar, and there will be a solicitor present on that Zoom calendar.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Judge, can I clarify something? Sorry. If he makes bond, his case will be removed from that.
Gonna take it out, but it still shows, and the judge could look at it. It's the number will still appear, correct?
It won't appear on
seen
count at
cases-
all. It comes off altogether.
I've seen cases though, Ms. Lewis, where people have been released on state out purpose. So are we saying we're not gonna do that anymore?
If he gets released prior to the counter being produced, his case.
Okay,
on.
so
That's
there's
all.
a chance you'll be on there, Mr. Murphy.
There's a chance.
I understand, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. May I be excused?
Yes, you may. Take care. Have a great afternoon. All right, who do we have next?
Gonna add on Ms. McIntosh.
And that's not Ms. Kim's case, correct?
Not,
Could you repeat the name, please?
this is McIntosh to add on number 1.
Oh, that's Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, let me find the add-on calendar. Give me one moment. Mr. McIntosh, I'm gonna find your case number shortly, but do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let me find it. Your case is 23 CR 005006H. You're charged with a fray. All right, Mr. Howard, can I have his history, please?
Third arrest, 2011 battery, 2010 shoplifting.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Bickerstaff? You're muted.
Sorry about that. Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred August 14th of this year at 1122 Mount Vernon Highway. And this is where officers witnessed the defendant and Mr. Eric Lewis punching and wrestling each other at the Sandy Springs MARTA bus loop. So for these reasons, and the state's recommendation is a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial services. We're asking for a one-day anger awareness course, no further contact with Mr. Lewis, and to stay away from the incident location, as well as no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
All right, I'm assuming Ms. McLeod does not object to the signature bond, but my question is, was the other person also arrested?
Yes,
Yes, Your Honor.
he
Okay.
was arrested, but he's Miss Kim's case, and we offered both defendants a diversion program, but Miss Kim's client wants to proceed with it.
Okay. So he's at courtroom 2 and we'll revisit his case at some point. All right, Ms. McLeod, any objection to the signature bond, which I'm inclined to grant?
No objection to the signature bond, Your Honor. I just wanted the court to know that both my client and the other defendant work at the same place. So no further contact is going to be a bit difficult unless one of them is going to lose their job.
Where do they work? What kind of place is that?
My understanding is it is like a warehouse. My client drives a forklift there.
I don't think they have to hang out at that warehouse, Ms. McLeod. I think they should be able to work that out. So if they are absolutely forced to as part of work meetings or something, that's permitted, but they are not to have casual or occasional contact with each other. All right?
Yes, Your Honor. That
All right, it's gonna be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial per judge. He's gonna take the one-day anger awareness course, have no contact with the cross defendant other than what is absolutely required for them to complete their job. Additionally, he's to have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons as a condition. Is there anything further?
There is nothing further, Your Honor, and that does complete my business before the court today. May I be excused?
Of course. Take care, Ms. McLeod. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you. The same to you, Your Honor.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. Who do we have next?
Position number 9, Mr. Hazard.
Is that Ms. Kim's case?
So it's not Ms. Wright.
It's Ms. Wright here. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Hazard, your case is 23 CR 00.
Your Honor, pardon
Yes.
me, I am so sorry. He needs to be reset for competency.
Okay, so let's go into a break. Let's go into a breakout shortly. Can I be placed in a breakout with Ms. Wright and Ms. Hudock, please?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, is everything still okay?
Hey, Mr. Hazard, you just hang out tight.
Miss Lewis, can you put me in the breakout as well, please?
All right, at this time, is courtroom 2 there? Can Mr. Hazard be brought back?
Here you go, y'all.
All right, Mr. Hazard is going to receive a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. He is to stay away from the Omni Hotel on Marietta Street and undergo evaluations as discussed at breakout. Mr. Hazard, I'm letting you out. However, you must not go back to that hotel. Do you understand that? Don't go back there. They don't want you there, okay?
You say a signature about the pre-trial?
No, I'm sending you through the jail.
Okay, Jay, I appreciate you.
All right, do not go back there, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Hazard. Can we now take the interpretation case?
We can, y'all, position number 10, Ms. Hernandez.
Oh, and Ms. Chancey, I'm sorry. Will the interpreter please state your name for the record?
Mi nombre es Adriana Chancey. My name is Adriana Chancey.
Ms. Chancey, do you swear and affirm that today you will make an accurate translation from English to Spanish, Spanish to English to the best of your skills, knowledge, and ability?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
All right, thank you. All right, good afternoon, Ms. Hernandez. Your case is 23 CR 005055005Y.
Buenas tardes, señora Hernández. Su número de caso es 23 CR 005-005Y.
I'm Judge Melanie Williams.
Yo soy la jueza Melanie Williams.
In this case, you're charged with simple battery family violence with the offense. Oh, okay.
En
Go
este
ahead.
caso, usted tiene un cargo por golpes y lesiones.
With the offense date of August the 14th of 2023.
Y el día del incidente es el 14 de agosto del 2023.
You have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you.
Usted tiene el derecho a guardar silencio. Todo lo que diga puede y será usado en su contra.
You have a right to an attorney, and Miss Wright, or is it Miss Kim? Miss Kim is here to represent you.
Usted tiene derecho a ser representada por un abogado y la señorita Kim está aquí para representarla.
I'm conducting this hearing over the internet.
Yo estoy conduciendo esta audiencia en la internet.
It's also being recorded.
También está siendo grabada.
Which means any member of the public can watch this.
Lo que implica que el público puede mirar este video.
Do you understand your rights and how I'm conducting the hearing today?
¿Usted entiende los dos derechos que tiene y cómo yo estoy conduciendo esta audiencia hoy? Yes.
All right, thank you.
She's muted, Your Honor.
Oh, can we unmute just so she can say she understands or not?
¿Entendió, señora? Acérquese, por favor. Speak close. Okay, yes.
All right, Mr. Howard, can I have the history, please?
Por favor, los antecedentes, señor Howard.
Second arrest, last was 2022, alien inadmissibility out of Texas.
Este es el segundo arresto. El anterior ocurrió en Texas por inadmisibilidad de indocumentación.
All right. Ms. Bickerstaff, please proceed.
This incident occurred August 14th of this year at 525 Creekside Way.
Este incidente ocurrió el 14 de agosto de este año en el 525 de Creekside Way.
Officers spoke with Mr. Roglio Soto Lima.
Soto Lima. Thank you. Los oficiales hablaron con el señor Roglio o Rogelio Soto Lima.
And he stated that he and his wife were arguing and it turned physical when the defendant slapped him and scratched his arm and neck.
El señor dijo que él y su esposa estaban discutiendo hasta que la discusión se volvió física y cuando ella le dio una palmada y le rasguñó el brazo y el cuello.
The defendant left the residence after the attack.
La acusada se fue de la residencia después del ataque.
And the defendant admitted to slapping Mr. Leesma, and their daughter was present at that time.
La acusada admitió haberle dado una palmada al señor y en presencia de la hija.
The state's recommendation is a $3,000 surety bond, 1-day anger awareness course, no further contact with Mr. Leesma, and to stay away from 525 Creekside Way, as well as no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
Lo que la fiscalía recomienda es una sentencia con una fianza de $3,000 bajo garantía, un día de en curso del manejo para la ira, no tener más contacto con el señor Leesma y mantenerse alejada de la dirección del 525 Creekside Way y que quede prohibido el uso de drogas, alcohol y armas.
All right, I'm sorry, what was the alleged victim's name?
¿Cómo fue el nombre?
Mr. Leesma.
All right, is Mr. Leesma present?
¿Está el señor Leesma presente?
All right, hearing and seeing none, Ms. Kim?
Señora Kim?
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 27 years old.
Mi cliente tiene 27 años de edad.
She is a full-time household mother with 3 children.
Ella es una ama de casa a tiempo completo, madre de 3 hijos.
Her children are 3, 4, and 7 years old.
Los hijos tienen 3, 4 y 7 años de edad.
She moved to Georgia about a few weeks ago with her husband and 3 children.
Se mudó a Georgia recientemente con su esposo y los 3 hijos.
Because her husband has a job as a cook.
Debido a que su esposo tiene un trabajo de cocinero.
Since she's not making enough income as a household, even with her husband's income, she's qualified for public defender services.
Debido a que ella no tiene ingresos financieros y ingresos financieros suficientes considerando el pago que recibe su esposo, ella cumple los requisitos para recibir un abogado público.
She graduated from high school, and this is her first offense here in Georgia. We would like to request for a signature on bond. She has no one to pay for the bond.
Ella terminó su escuela secundaria. Es la primera ofensa que comete, por eso pedimos una fianza no monetaria bajo firma y porque no tiene dinero con qué pagarlo.
All right, defendant's going to receive a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial services.
La acusada recibirá una fianza de $3,000 no monetaria bajo firma a través de los servicios previos al juicio.
Per judge, she's to take the 1-day anger awareness course.
El juez, ella debe tomar un curso de manejo de la ira.
She is to have no contact at this time with the alleged victim.
Ella no debe tener ningún contacto con la víctima alegada.
And stay away from that location on Creekside Parkway.
Y no debe regresar a la dirección en Creekside Parkway.
She can return one time with law enforcement to get any items.
Ella puede regresar una sola vez con un oficial de policía si tiene que retirar pertenencias personales.
Additionally, she's to have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons.
Y queda prohibido el uso de drogas, alcohol y armas.
Is there anything further?
Can she have a third party transfer for children?
Yes. And
Puede tener una parte tercera, una persona, una tercera persona para poder ella visitarse con los hijos.
And
Sí.
she can transport the children by using a third party.
Ella puede transportar también a los niños de vuelta al padre a través de una tercera persona.
Is there anything further?
¿Algo más?
Nothing further from defense.
Nada de la defensa.
All right. Best of luck to you, Ms. Hernandez. That concludes your case.
Mucha suerte, señora. Terminó su caso. I believe that will be all, Your Honor.
We got one more interpreter case, but,
I think
Your Honor, can we do one person before the next interpreter case, please? We have
Okay.
something going on, we need to get him out of the way.
Okay. All right.
It's not him, it's just something that's going on here.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Domino, position number 3.
All right, Ms. Pansy, thank you for your patience.
Your Honor, I'm not sure if you all received it, but we submitted a no press order for Mr. Domino.
Oh, okay. So this case is dismissed, Mr. Domino. I didn't receive the no price.
Okay. Yes, I'll send it over to the litigation manager again, okay?
Okay, thank you. So that's it, Mr. Domino. Best of luck to you.
All right, position number 6, Mr. Garcia.
Commissioner, she sent it over to Ms. Bridgewater, the Norcross.
All right, Mr. Garcia, your case is 23 CR 004996J.
Señor García, el número de su caso es 23 CR 004-996J.
In this case, you're charged with battery family violence.
En este caso, usted tiene un cargo por violencia familiar y golpes y lesiones.
With the offense date of August the 14th of 2023.
Y el día de que lo incidente es el 14 de agosto del 2023.
You have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you.
Usted tiene el derecho a guardar silencio. Todo lo que diga puede y será usado en su contra.
You have a right to an attorney, and Ms. Wright is present today to assist you.
Usted tiene derecho a ser representado por un abogado y la señorita Wright está aquí para asistirlo.
I'm conducting this proceeding over the internet as a live stream.
Yo estoy aquí presentando este caso en la internet.
It's also being recorded.
También está siendo grabado.
That means any member of the public can log on and watch.
Lo que quiere decir que cualquier miembro del público puede observar esta audiencia.
Do you understand your rights and how I'm conducting the hearing?
Señor, ¿usted entiende sus derechos y cómo estoy conduciendo esta audiencia?
Sí.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Mr. Howard, the history, please.
Gracias. Los antecedentes, señor Howard, por favor.
Second arrest.
Segundo arresto.
Last arrest was last year for obstruction and PR. That's open in state court.
El segundo, el anterior caso fue el año pasado. I'm sorry, what was the charge, sir, again?
Obstruction and public indecency.
Por obstrucción a la autoridad y conducta negligente en público.
All right, thank you. Ms. Hudak?
Thank you. Officers were dispatched to 558 College Street, apartment 5C, for a report of a man throwing things and hitting a female.
Los oficiales fueron llamados al 558 de College Street, departamento 5C, por estar arrojando cosas, I'm sorry, throwing things and what else, ma'am?
Hitting a female.
Oh, y golpeando a una mujer.
Officers encountered the defendant walking in the parking lot and speaking on his cell phone.
Los oficiales encontraron al acusado caminando en la playa de estacionamiento y hablando por su celular.
They asked him if he was involved in anything this evening, and the defendant said his girlfriend.
Le preguntaron si había estado involucrado en algún evento en esa noche y él contestó que con su novia.
He was detained while the officers went to speak to the victim in this case.
Él fue detenido mientras los oficiales fueron a hablar con la víctima en este caso.
Her name is Soriano Arroyo Marta, and they live together.
I'm sorry. El nombre de la víctima es Marta Soriano Arroyo y ellos viven juntos.
Ms. Marta was on the phone speaking to a Stacy Cardona who was translating for the victim who does not speak English.
La señora Marta estaba hablando con Stacy Cardona, quien actuó como intérprete porque ella no habla inglés.
The victim told the officer that Mr. Garcia was drinking, became drunk, and started yelling at her and throwing things.
La víctima le explicó a la policía que el señor García estaba tomando, se emborrachó y comenzó a gritar y a arrojar objetos.
He also slapped her with an open hand, pulled her hair, and placed his hands around her neck.
También les dijo que le dio una cachetada, le tironeó su cabello y colocó sus manos alrededor del cuello de ella.
She began swinging to try and get him off of her.
Ella comenzó a tratar de evitar que él la agarrara.
Officers observed scratches on her left hand, and the kitchen showed signs of a struggle.
Los oficiales pudieron ver que tenía raspaduras en la mano izquierda y en la cocina se observó que había ocurrido una situación de lucha.
Your Honor, we would ask that you sound for the victim, but we don't believe that she's on Zoom today because she's working.
Su señoría, pedimos que llame a la víctima, pero no creemos que esté presente en la plataforma porque ella trabaja.
However, our office was able to speak to her.
Sin embargo, nuestra oficina pudo hablar con ella.
And while the state would recommend no further contact and a stay away order, the victim says that she wants him home, that she is not scared of him, and would prefer a no further violent contact order. The state would also ask for 1-day anger awareness and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. And a $3,000 surety bond. Sorry.
No problem. Por eso, su señoría, la fiscalía recomienda una sentencia de no tener más contacto con la víctima, pero debido a que nuestra oficina habló con ella y dijo que ella no quería que el acusado regresara, pedimos que se emita una orden de no tener contacto violento en el futuro. Una fianza de $3,000 bajo garantía, también un curso de un día para aprender a manejar la ira y también que quede prohibidas las drogas, las armas y el alcohol.
All right. Hearing that the victim does not speak English, can I have the name of the victim again?
¿Puedo obtener el nombre de la víctima otra vez? Your Honor, what I have is Marta Soriano, Soriano, Arroyo.
Right. Miss Chelsea, will you sound for her?
Yes, ma'am. Señora Marta Soriano Arroyo, está en la plataforma. Por favor, prenda su cámara y avísenos. Marta Soriano Arroyo.
Yo soy la Stacy Cardona.
I am Stacy Cardona, and you speak English, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Are you the victim in this case?
No, I got on for Martha Soriano Arroyo.
Okay, we would need to hear from the victim herself.
Okay, she's at work currently, so she won't be able to.
All right, understood. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Wright, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. These two people have been together a very long time.
Estas dos personas han estado juntas por un largo tiempo.
Although they're not legally married, they consider themselves to be.
A pesar que no están legalmente casados, ellos se consideran casados.
He currently works for a brick factory.
En este momento, él trabaja para una fábrica de ladrillo.
Today we're asking for a $1,500 surety bond, Your Honor.
Y solicitamos una multa de $1,500. Perdón, una fianza de $1,500.
Defendant will receive a $1,500 surety bond.
La acusada recibirá una fianza de $1,500 bajo garantía.
He will have no contact with the alleged victim and stay away from the incident location.
Él no debe tener ningún tipo de contacto con la alegada víctima y debe mantenerse alejado del lugar mencionado.
He can return one time with a member of law enforcement to get any items.
Puede regresar a el domicilio con una escolta de oficial de policía para obtener pertenencias personales.
And he is to have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons as a condition.
Y queda la condición de que se prohíbe el uso de drogas, alcohol y armas.
Is there anything further from Ms. Hudakis, right?
¿Hay alguna? No.
Your Honor.
All right, that concludes your hearing, Mr. Garcia. Best of luck to you.
Señor, buena suerte. Señor García, termina su caso.
All right, Ms. Chancey, before your departure, will you sound to make sure that no one else needs your services?
Yes, Your Honor. Buenas tardes. ¿Hay alguien que necesite un intérprete en español? Por favor, prenda su cámara y avísele a la señora jueza.
Oiga, disculpe.
Excuse me.
Si pago los 1,500, ¿voy a salir libre?
If I pay the $1,500, am I going to be released?
Okay, Ms. Wright perhaps can speak with you to explain that after this hearing, okay?
Muy bien, la señorita Wright puede hablar con usted quizás antes de que termine esta audiencia sobre eso.
That was $1,500 surety bond, correct?
That's correct.
All right, we have position number 11, Mr. Hood.
All right, Ms. Chancey, you can be excused. Take care. Have a great
afternoon. Thank you, Your Honor. You too.
All right, Mr. Hood, your case is 23 CR 005002A. You're charged with battery of family violence with the offense date of July the 8th. You understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Howard.
What's the name?
Number 11, Hood.
Fourth arrest. Last was 2016, driving without a valid license. And before that was 06.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Huda?
Thank you, Your Honor. This offense did occur on July 8th of 2023. And before I begin, I just want to make a clarification. He is charged with battery family violence. We learned after filing very recently that the victim in this case, Ms. Tamika McCann, does not share a child with Mr. Hood. It is her sister who shares the child with Mr. Hood. So we will be modifying that, but just so we have the relationship straight. On that date, officers went to the address. They spoke to the victim, who in this case is Ms. Tamika McCann, who stated that her sister was also in a physical altercation with Mr. Hood. Ms. McCann said she observed Mr. Hood being physical with her sister outside, including punching her sister. So Ms. McCann went outside to confront Mr. Hood. He tossed his niece out of his hands and then punched Tamika McCann in the mouth and then left the residence. Officers did observe Miss Tamika McCann to have a swollen lip. Your Honor, I believe that Ms. McCann is on the line and would like to address the court, but she did indicate that she wants to have absolutely no contact with him, to stay away from the address at 5915 Blue Bonnet Circle in the city of Atlanta. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons, 1 day anger awareness. And she said that he does come over to the house a lot and is always causing a problem. But I would ask for you to sound for the victim. And if I didn't say it, a $5,000 surety bond, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Ms. McCann, if you're present, I need you to turn on your camera and raise your right hand if you'd like to make a statement. All right, Ms. Wright?
Yes, Your Honor. I would like some clarification as to whether.
I'm here. I'm sorry. I'm here. I don't know how to cut.
We need to turn your camera on because we have a lot of cases today. All right. All right, please raise your right hand. And you're gonna need to unmute. Do you swear in the front? Oh, there you go. Do you swear in the front of the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down. Again, no sentencing today. I'm most concerned with whether you like to have contact with the defendant and if you have fear for your safety. What would you like to tell me?
No, I don't have fear for my safety. I just don't want him around.
All right.
Nowhere near me.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate you coming to court and making the statement. Ms. Wright?
Yes, Your Honor. I just wanted clarification as to whether Ms. McCann lives at that location.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. My understanding is that Mr. Hood came to see his co-parent and they had an argument. At some point, the mother of his co-parent, Miss McCann, and the daughter of Miss McCann all started being very aggressive and jumping him. He tried to get away, push them away, and he left. And as he was driving away, they were throwing rocks at his car. His car has damage from it. He does not want contact with Miss McCann. He only has contact with his co-parent because they share a child. We would ask for a signature bond on this case, Your Honor. He does not have any violent history from his cases in the past.
All right. Defendant will receive a $5,000 signature bond per judge through pretrial services. He is to take the 1 day anger awareness course. He is to have no contact with the alleged victim and stay away from that incident location. Additionally, he's to have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons as a condition. Is there anything further?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Best of luck to you, sir. Who do we have next?
Position number 17, Ms. Terry.
All right, Ms. Terry, I believe we tried to start your case. Your case is 23 CR 004984Y, on which you're charged with simple assault, family violence. Do you understand your rights?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Howard, can I have the history?
You said Terry?
Number 17.
It's her first. She 18 years old.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, Ms. Bickerstaff.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred August 14th of this year at 1783 Johnson Road. And this is where the defendant, this is where officers spoke with the defendant's mother, Miss Carlisha Brown. And Miss Brown told officers that she locked the defendant out of the house and wouldn't let her come back in the house to get her things. Officers spoke with Miss Brown, and then Miss Brown told them that the defendant hit her in the face earlier that day. The defendant hit her mother, Miss Brown, in the face earlier today. that day, but they didn't see any injuries on Ms. Brown. Ms. Brown also told officers that the defendant came back to the residence around 11 that night. Excuse me. She left, she let her in, she let the defendant in, and that's when the defendant got a cup of water and threw it on Ms. Brown. And then the defendant swung a punch at her mom, Ms. Brown, but she missed. So given all these reasons, the state's recommendation is a $2,500 signature bond through pretrial services. We're asking for a one-day anger awareness course, no further contact with her mother, Ms. Carlisha Brown, to stay away from 1783 Johnson Road, as well as no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. And I'd like to sound for Ms. Brown if she's on Zoom.
Is Ms. Brown present and wishes to make a statement? Sounding for Ms. Brown. All right, Ms. Kim, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 18 years old. She's working as a wheelchair assistant at Delta. However, it is part-time job since she is still going to school. She's expected to graduate this December 2023. So right now she's a senior in high school. Your Honor, we would like to request for no further violent contact. We have no objection to signature on bond. However, it is her mother and they live together. But if Your Honor is not inclined to give her no further violent contact, we do have a co-signer, her grandmother, who I spoke with, Shelia Harris. She is willing to pick her up and bring her to her house. Thank you.
All right. At this time, defendant will receive the $2,500 signature bond through pretrial services. She is to have no contact with her mother at this time. That can be revisited at a later date. Additionally, she is to take, did I say the one-day anger awareness course? She's to take the one-day anger awareness and stay away from the incident location. Additionally, she's to have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Is there anything further?
What about the cosigner?
Yes, we do have a co-signer, Shelia Harris, Shelia Harris.
Can you repeat that,
That's
Bob?
Sheila or Shalia?
I think it was a Shelia.
I think it's Sheila.
Oh, Sheila.
Maybe Sheila.
Shelia.
Are you waiving?
Yes, you can send me a waiver.
Thank you.
All right, and it was 2,500 signature per judge through pretrial services. All right, best of luck to you, Ms. Terry. Who do we have next?
Position number 2, Mr. Colton.
All right, Mr. Costa, your case is 23 CR 004995 B. In this case, you're charged with theft by taking. You understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. All right, thank you, Mr. Howard.
47 total. Last arrest was in June, probation violation. On probation, possession of drug-related objects, possession of meth with intent. Also, theft by conversion, 2 counts, and inflict injury on a disabled elderly person. He got a lot of FTAs in his history.
Okay, thank you. All right, Ms. Bickerstaff, please proceed.
Your Honor, this incident occurred yesterday at 241 Manning Drive in Alpharetta, Georgia. And this is where Mr. Davis Barron called officers about their old homeowners coming onto their property without permission. He let officers know that this is the 4th time this month that he had to call police for the previous homeowners trespassing on their property. The defendant came on the property and he took a ladder that was in the yard. When officers spoke with Mr. Barron, he informed him that the defendant is the boyfriend of Miss Bridget Radar. Miss Radar is the previous homeowner. He also let officers know that he purchased this property, him and his wife purchased this property about 5 months ago, and he gave the previous homeowners about 60 days to get their belongings, yet they still come to the residence without their permission. Our office did get an opportunity to talk to Mr. Davis, and he let us know that he does not know the defendant. And he let us know that he's tried to tell, him and his wife have talked to the previous homeowners before about them not coming on their property, yet they continue to still come. Mr. Barron also confirmed all the events that were listed in the warrant. He just wants the defendant to stay away and to have no further contact with him or his wife. So given these reasons, the state's recommendation is a $1,000 surety bond, no further contact with Mr. Davis or Reagan Barron, and to stay away from 241 Manning Drive in Alpharetta, Georgia, as well as no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. And if either of the Barrons are on Zoom, I would like to sound for them right now.
All right, are either of the Barons present on the Zoom conference? All right, hearing and seeing none, Ms. Kim?
Yes, my client is 40 years old and he is gainfully employed as a construction worker. He's been doing that for the last 2 years. He successfully graduated from high school. And Your Honor, he is taking care of 12 years old, a child that even though he is working, he is still qualified for public defender services since his income has not been great lately. Your Honor, we would like to request for a signature on bond, and we have no objection to stay away and no further contact with the owners right now. Thank you.
All right, defendant will receive $1,000 surety bond. He's to have no further contact with either of the owners of the previous home and stay away from the address on Manning Drive. Additionally, he's to have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. And as a reminder, he'll be reset to state on purpose on the 29th. Is there anything further?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to you, sir. Who do we have next?
Position number 15, Mr. Ross.
All right, Mr. Ross, your case is 23 CR 005003B. In this case, you're charged with obstruction. Do you understand your rights? All right, Mr. Howard.
Rhodes. Oh, you said Ross. 23 total. Last arrest was in July 2022. Failure to appear. He got an open ag assault, terroristic threats, possession of a firearm during the commission, battery, misdemeanor, possession of marijuana. That's in Superior Court. Also got a robbery, criminal damage to property, 2nd degree, simple battery, theft by taking in Superior Court.
All right, thank you. Ms. Bickerstaff?
Yes, Your Honor. So this incident occurred yesterday at 1820 Hollywood Road. And this is where officers were at the location investigating a home invasion when an anonymous male came up to them and stated that the ones that you're looking for are over at Pump 3. And so the male described the 2 males that were at Pump 3 and a woman. He described the woman as being dark skinned and thicker. And he described one guy to be in his 50s and the other guy to be in his 20s or 30s. So officers went over to the vehicle and they detained the woman. She matched the description that was given by the anonymous male. And officers asked her whom she was with, and she pointed at her boyfriend, the defendant. And so when officers told the defendant that he was being detained, he asked the officers why, and then he took off running from officers. The officers had to tase the defendant, and that's when he went to the ground. So given all of these reasons, the state's recommendation is a $2,000 surety bond, as well as no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
All right, Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 26 years old. He was born and raised here in Georgia, Your Honor, and he's gainfully employed as package labor personnel at warehouse. He's been doing that for 5 months. Before that, he was doing DoorDash. He graduated from high school. Your Honor, my client already has $5,000 surety bond for another charge, failure to appear. And we would like to request for signature on bond for this, since he has to take care of another warrant at a different place. So he will be released to another county, and he will not be flight risk at all. So we would like to request for signature on bond. And if Your Honor is not inclined to give him a signature on bond, maximum $1,000 good bond for willful obstruction. Thank you.
All right, defendant will receive a $500 surety bond. He needs to have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons as a condition. Is there anything further?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Ross.
Can I mention something, Your Honor, if you don't mind?
I don't think you should. You want to use your
Mr.
right to
Ross?
remain silent.
Yeah.
I believe another add-on, Mr. Lewis.
Does anyone have that one?
No, Your Honor.
That's not on our calendar.
Your Honor, Lewis actually is my client, and we made an agreement for diversion.
Oh,
He can
yes.
sign the form and submit it, and then it will be taken care of.
Okay, so he doesn't need to be brought before me.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
Thank you.
That courtroom 2 is complete. We're missing, are all the positions missing medical reset, or is there another announcement? What positions are reset medical?
No positions are reset.
Position 4,
Position 4,
position 12,
12,
13,
13,
and 14.
and 14.
Okay, what happened to position 5 and 18?
And 7.
Oh, and 7. What happened?
Position number 7 was transported to ACDC. They don't have an officer over there. And who are the other person?
Position 5?
Quite a few.
And positions 18? And then it says that these parties have been in there for 3 days.
We didn't have Mr. Wiggins on our pool sheet today, but that's why we didn't know to pull that person.
Okay, well, he needs to be brought. It says he's been there for 72 hours.
Mr. Wiggins was a reset from yesterday. He was on the SCA counter yesterday. So was Miss Patricia. A lot of these judges, I had 6 resets from the SCA counter yesterday, and a lot of them were females due to, they said they didn't have a personnel at the ACDC.
What's gonna happen is we're gonna have to, okay, that's not gonna work. So what if, let's first stick with position 18, who should have been brought. Can position 18 be brought?
Well, I have to find out where he is, and I don't even know who the person is.
Okay, well, we need to try to do that. And what's happening with ACDC? Can someone call ACDC? Or was
There's no officer available over there.
That's been like that for the last 2 years.
but we can't, that's not acceptable, because if they were reset yesterday for the same reason that I have, that some of these people have been there for 72 hours. So they're gonna all end up getting signature binds if we can't have them brought. So first let's try to get position 18. And then is Mr. Howard, I saw Mr. Howard earlier. Is Mr. Howard on the line? Mr. Derek Howard?
I don't see him anymore. I can text him.
Can you text him and see
Yes.
if perhaps he can check on some of these medical resets?
Yes,
as
Your
well,
Honor.
Ms. Kim?
Yes, I'll do it right now.
Can I go down the calendar? Because I have quite a few.
Your Honor, if I
Yes,
may
it is almost
speak to Miss Douglas, I know that the jail tried to talk to her to get her out, and she was just very much unresponsive. Mr. Howard is aware of her.
Well, that one they're saying is a medical reset. So I just asked Mr. Howard to check the medical resets, but I'm more concerned about these positions at ACDC that cannot be located. We can review it, Ms. Bridgewater, but I mean, we're almost at half the calendar.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Something.
Your Honor, I have an announcement about Dayin Rhodes. Mr. Rhodes, it is actually he is actually referred to MMHC. He is referred and accepted to that program, so he does not have to be brought out either.
Well, he need a bond, right?
He still has to have a first appearance.
True.
Miss Kim, he is on the MMC counter for tomorrow, but do you have that in writing and clear that he's been that he's willing to participate in the program?
I was not able to interview him yet.
That's what I'm saying.
because-
So
yeah,
It's not gonna matter anyway. He still has to have a first
He does.
appearance brought.
Yes.
And it says 72 hours for this
Yes.
gentleman as well.
Yes, Your Honor.
What's gonna, I'm at a loss.
I'm too, judges. I had the same situation on Saturday. And then yesterday I had 6 resets to this counter because of the circumstances.
It's almost, if they cannot be brought, Mr. Walker, I believe Riverside is going to attach.
I'm looking into it now, Your Honor.
Thank you. This is not, we all know that there are some issues with this is not gonna work.
Your Honor, I do have Ethan Cole. I have spoken to him.
That's the one that we're heard is a medical reset.
Oh,
So that's one of the 4 we're asking Mr. Howard to.
I thought we did number 1.
Oh, we did number 1. We did number 1. I thought you said number 5. Number 5. Okay, well, Ms. Bridgewater, will you review our calendar?
Yeah, I have a total of 7 that we have not heard, just for the record, but I'll go over the calendar. So until we figure out what's going on. Position, okay, let me start here. The reset date for the SAP calendar is August 29th. Position number 1 is reset to the SAP calendar with a $3,000 good bond. Position 2, SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. Position number 3 was null crossed. Holding on position number 4, holding on position number 5. Position number 6 is going to the SAP calendar with a $1,500 good bond. Position number 7, we're holding on. Position 8, SAP calendar with a $6,000 good bond. Position 9, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through the jail. Position 10, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial per judge. Position 11, reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB through pretrial per judge. Holding on position 12, holding on positions 13 and 14. Position 15 is going to the SAP calendar with a $500 good bond. 16 SAP calendar with a total $2,000 good bond. 17 is reset further notice with a $2,500 SOB through pretrial per judge. And we're also holding on position 18. On the add-on calendar, it was reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. Are there any questions, comments, or otherwise?
All right. Is there at least an announcement for position 18? Who should not be at ACDC?
Is that Mr. Demonte?
Yes.
Give us 1 second. As soon as you get back, they say he's on the 7th floor. I can go get him. Give me a few minutes.
Okay.
So as soon as Officer Blunt get back, I'll go to the 7th floor and go get him.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Okay, I suppose we'll be on a very brief recess. I'm not really sure. I'd like us to try to get someone at ACDC or some instructions. I'm going to make a call as well. We'll be on a brief hold.
Okay.
I'm still here. Someone's speaking.
Hello. I just spoke with my supervisor, Derek Howard. He is checking right now to see what's going on. And as soon as I get updates, I will update everybody as well.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Camp.
Okay, also, I'm holding on a MH order.
Right.
Okay. For which one was it again?
Yes, ma'am, for Mr. Hazard.
Ms.
Okay.
Wright is gonna prepare it for us.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
And Your Honor, what positions were the ACDC resets?
Let's see. I had that 4 was a medical reset, 5 was a medical reset. So the ACDC position should be 13, 14, I believe 12. Don't quote me, but I know that 18 is not supposed to be an ACDC.
So we believe 12, 13, and 14.
I believe so.
And Judge, number 4 was, has been reset several times when she was, first was one behavior and the other one because they didn't have nobody available at ATDC.
So that's 4, 12, 13, and 14.
What about 7? What is going on with 7?
I don't know.
Look like we have a situation.
Well, we're gonna figure it out, I hope.
Miss Cam, can you answer your phone, please?
All right, Mr. Walker, are you here?
I'm here, Your Honor.
Okay, I am gonna give members of the prosecution 20 minutes to get in touch with someone at the jail. Otherwise, I'm gonna find that Riverside has attached. And we will begin with signature bonds through the jail based
I've-
upon the history we have.
I've reached out to the jail and they currently are on it as we speak. And the defendants should be brought. That's the latest update that I have received.
Okay, they get we can't sit here all
Yeah,
day.
actually, what is the officer at courtroom 2? What officer is helping us today?
I don't know.
So that information was asked of me.
Okay. All right. And is this position 18?
No, this is 14. 18, they going to get him down. He's upstairs on the 7th floor in the lockdown unit. So that means they gotta get him clothes and everything else to bring him down.
Excuse me, can I ask what is the officer at courtroom 2?
My name is Officer Blunt.
Thank you, Officer Blunt.
So this is Rhodes.
Right, this is Rhodes.
Yes. I was able to speak to him and he is willing to participate in that MMHC program. So I just wanted
All
to.
right, so is an evaluation going to be required or will it be done as part of that, Ms. Kim, if he's accepted?
He's already accepted. I think somebody will come out and talk to him tomorrow and, they will come up with some kind of program, I guess a treatment plan between him and professionals to go through for about a year. And after it is completed, I guess the case will be dismissed, something like that.
All right, so we'll go through and still set bond.
Okay.
All right, Miss Lewis, yes.
Yes, Judge, I just want to clarify on the MMC court, normally a bond is given to them and Judge Kurt will be the one to amend the bond due to their participation in the program because the bond will have stipulations regarding to the MCC court. So you can still give the individual a bond, but on Thursday, if he agreed, then it'll be up to that Judge Kurt and the team to amend the bond order, which they normally do.
Okay. All right, Mr. Howard, can I have his history?
Fourth arrest, 2022 trespass, disorderly conduct, cruelty in the 3rd. Driving without a valid license, failed to maintain lane. It's open in state court. 2022 simple battery conviction.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Bickerstaff?
Your Honor, this incident occurred August 14th of this year at 301 10th Street. This is the Georgia Tech Graduate Living Center, and this is where officers received a call about a strange man entering the Graduate Living Parking Center deck. Officers saw the male coming from behind the apartments, matching the description, and it turned out to be the defendant. When officers asked whether the defendant was a Georgia Tech student, he stated that he wasn't. And so then when officers asked the defendant, why was he going in the parking deck, he didn't answer. Officers discovered that the defendant had a warrant out in Villa Rica, Georgia, and that he was criminally trespassed from that property February 16th of last year. So given all of this, the state's recommendation is a $1,000 surety bond, a misdemeanor mental health court evaluation, and to stay away from 301 10th Street, as well as no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
All right, Ms. Kim?
Yes, my client is 21 years old. He was born and raised here in Georgia. He has been staying at Safe House Outreach Shelter. And he has all the family members here. His mom, I got the phone number, who will be contacting and talking to him. And also his siblings, 1 brother and 4 sisters are here in Georgia. He does not have any employment and he graduated from high school. He's qualified for public defender services. And that's about it, Your Honor. We would like to request for a signature on bond. Thank you.
All right. Defendant will receive $1,000 surety bond. He is to stay away from GLC. Additionally, he's to have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons as a condition. Is there anything further?
Nothing further from defense.
What position is this?
14.
Thank you, ma'am.
So I'm just gonna assume that it will be reset to this Thursday, August 17.
If accepted formally, but otherwise it'll still be placed on that state all purpose calendar on the 29th.
That's
Yes.
correct.
Thank you.
All right, because I have no authority to reset through the mental health myself.
Okay.
All right, thank you for bringing Mr. Rhodes. Best of luck to you, Mr. Rhodes. All right, are there other announcements regarding?
My
Did anyone?
supervisor is calling, so I'll be right.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Tim.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I did speak to our supervisor. He let me know that he did see Mr. Landon Johnson yesterday. I'm going to waive his presence. And we can have just a standard bond whenever Your Honor is ready.
All right, had Mr. Howard spoke to the defendant. Okay, I'm sure the state will object to the waiver. However, I'm going to permit it today. If you'll actually send over a formal waiver still.
Happy
Ms.
to,
Wright?
Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Howard, can I have the history, please?
For who?
Position 12, Johnson.
I got first arrest.
Okay. Ms. Hudak?
That's correct, Your Honor. This offense occurred on 8/14/2023. Officers responded to the above address, which is 1005 Dimmick Street, Southwest Atlanta. When they arrived, they saw the victim, Miss Lucille Posey, sitting on the neighbor's porch in tears. She said her grandson was in the house throwing things at her and pushing her to the floor. She complained of head pains and knee pains. The neighbors warned officers that additional units were needed because of his aggressive and irate attitude. The neighbor was able to provide footage of Miss Posey running out of the house and Mr. Johnson, who is her grandson, running behind her and pushing her to the ground. He is then also seen chasing the neighbors that were attempting to de-escalate the situation. At that point, the officers observed on the video that he ran at his grandmother again and pushed her to the ground. Your Honor, I believe if you could sound for Ms. Posey, she should be on the line. There are some DD and MH issues. And when we last spoke to Ms. Posey, she said she is not comfortable with her safety having him back at the house. And so we would ask for a stay away order, no further contact with Ms. Posey, a $5,000 surety bond, and 1 day anger awareness, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while on bond.
Is Ms. Posey present on this Zoom conference? Ms. Posey, do you wish to make a statement?
Yes, I do.
Okay, please raise your right hand so I can swear you in. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge and under the penalty of perjury?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Posey, what would you like to tell me?
Hold on. And Your Honor, I don't mean to interrupt, but I think that Ms. Posey wants to address a lot of the MHDD background. So I don't know if it would be
So
more
if we can
appropriate.
all be, if we could be put in a breakout, please, Ms. Lewis, with all parties concerned. I think it might be the whole calendar, pretty much.
Okay.
She ain't counting.
All right, have all parties returned? Defendant Johnson will receive a $1,500 surety bond. He's to have absolutely no contact with the alleged victim and stay away from the alleged victim's location. Additionally, he's to have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. If he needs to obtain anything from the victim's home, he can do so with a member of law enforcement. Is there anything further?
Your Honor, could you, I guess, add as an additional condition that he take all medication as prescribed by his physician?
I can try. He needs to comply
can.
with, yes, he needs to comply with any prescribed medication regimes.
What was
Okay,
the
and
bond?
just,
I missed.
1,500 surety.
and Your Honor, I know you put it on the record for me, but the state does object to not pre-waiving presence.
Understood. But otherwise, he would receive a $10,000 signature bond through. We're approaching my deadline for the signature bonds. So I'm hoping that members of the solicitor's office have been able to get in touch with someone.
Your Honor, we have. I would like to address that in a breakout if we have an opportunity.
Okay, let's do that now. There's no other work we can do.
I wasn't aware and I didn't want to interrupt until you had given your.
That's fine. That's fine. If we can all go back into that breakout, please. Or are we able to put ourselves back in?
No, because I thought we were done and I deleted the room, so I gotta put it all
Oh,
back
okay.
in
I'm
there.
sorry, Miss Lewis. I
My
apologize.
apologies, Miss Lewis. Your Honor, Judge Williams.
Yeah.
All right, so I believe we have a solution to the two remaining cases that we have now determined do not fall into the MH issue category, which is Kendall Ree and Del Monte Wiggins. So Ms. Bickerstaff had, and just to put this on the record, I had already approved Ms. Bickerstaff to agree to a signature bond on Kendall Ree. He is being currently held on a $5,000 surety bond on the theft by taking charge. So as far as I'm concerned, if Your Honor, obviously Your Honor can do whatever she wishes, but if Your Honor is agreeable to giving a signature bond, the state doesn't object to a signature bond on Kendall Ree because that was the state's recommendation as well, given the surety bond that Mr. Ree is already being held on.
All right. And as to Mr. Wiggins?
Del Monte Wiggins is currently in custody on a murder case that's 23 SC 18808.
I saw that.
His 72 hours does not hit. I'm looking at the warrant right now that was taken out for him. This incident happened, let me go back.
No, Mr. Wiggins is not at ACDC. Yes.
Mr. Wiggins is currently in courtroom 2 on the phone talking with Ms. Kim.
Then
Okay,
that has been resolved.
Okay, wonderful. And the other cases will be medical research.
Thank you, Your Honor. And so, Your Honor, I don't know if you want to announce on the record the bond or if the PD's office is agreeable to that bond on Ree.
All right. I've read the warrant and looked at the history. Ms. Bickerstaff, is there anything else you'd like to add? Is this Ms. Kim's case? Let's wait. Is it Ms. Kim's on the phone? And I think this is her case. So let's at least allow her to weigh in.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Ms. Wright?
Yes, Your Honor.
I understand that Mr. Howard is on his way to the jail. As there are quite a few medical resets today, I'm hoping that tomorrow there will be at least the waivers of these individuals' appearance, hopefully, so that we can address them at tomorrow's SCA calendar. So
Yes,
if you pass that message, please.
I'd be happy to.
And Your Honor, if the state can make a request, if Ms. Wright and Ms. Kim can send me one email with all of those individuals who've been medically reset instead of in 2 emails, what I'll do is I'm going to forward that to PAD and to MMHC today and have them also go to see if they can offer any assistance, because Thursday is usually the day they go and do interviews anyway.
Okay, that works. Thank you, Ms. Wright, if you facilitate that.
Of course.
All right, Ms.
I
Kim.
have a
you're back.
request, Your Honor.
Uh-huh.
I was really hoping to get the Snicker of the day.
You get the Twix. We'll give you the Twix.
That's even better.
That's even better. I got you both when I see you.
Okay.
Ms. Kim, as it pertains to the case of Kendall Ree, position 13, the state has, well, let me first ask Ms. Bickerstaff. Ms. Bickerstaff, I've read the warrant. I'm aware of the hold and the history for Mr. Ree, or is it Mr. Ree? Would you like to put anything additional onto the record?
Just to put the facts on the record, just briefly.
Very briefly. We're all aware. Go ahead.
Yes, the incident happened, on August 14th of this year at 10305 Plantation Bridge Drive. And this is where officers arrived, Officer Cheney arrived due to a traffic stop as a backup officer. The defendant was a passenger in the car. The driver was placed under arrest, and so officers began speaking with the defendant. And after the defendant gave officers his name and date of birth, officers discovered that the defendant had a warrant out for his arrest. The defendant then got out of the car and he began running away, and he ignored officers' commands to stop. Eventually, he fell on the ground not very far from where he was running. So the state's recommendation is a $1,500 signature bond through pretrial services, as well as no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
Ms. Kim, as it pertains to position 13, I'm gonna give a $1,500 signature bond through the jail. Do you have any objection?
No, not at all, Your Honor.
All right, $1,500 signature bond through the jail with no alcohol, drugs, weapons.
Thank you.
All right, let's take up the case of Mr. Wiggins. Mr. Wiggins, your case is 23 CR 004992F. You're charged with simple battery, and I will not sound the second charge in your case. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney. This particular proceeding is being conducted over the internet as a live stream. It's also being recorded. That means any member of the public can watch. Do you understand your rights? Mr. Wiggins, do you understand your rights and what I just explained?
No.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. I appreciate that. Mr. Howard, can I have history, please?
I don't have a Wiggins.
You don't? Position 18?
He wasn't on my portion.
From yesterday, I can give you the some criminal history, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Bickerstaff.
So I have 19 arrests. I have an aggravated assault in 2010 and 2021, burglary 2010, more recently a possession in use of drug-related objects in 2019, possession of meth in 2019. There's an open case 23 SC 18808 for murder, felony murder, and aggravated assault. That's currently in Superior Court, Your Honor. This incident occurred August 14th of this year at the jail at 901 Rice Street. And this is where Officer Brown stated that the defendant aggressively opened Zone 400's door, which pushed the pill cart, causing the medications to spill. And then he spat on Nurse Florence. The defendant then pulled out his genitalia and began masturbating to
Your Honor, this is the one that I actually requested for
oh, wait a second. Let's turn off the live stream.
Yes.
I